My favorite kid bought me this shirt with my own money. Hey, how you guys doing? My name's Leo Naranjo IV, no longer candidate for governor in the 2026 election. Did you guys like the show last night? The game is over. We've played the season. That was a campaign. For those of you that are sports enthusiasts, the game was played during the campaign. When the candidate put in their 501 form that said, I want to run, that's when you entered the field. And then you played the game until you submitted your paperwork, paid your filing fees, raised your hand, took your oath. Then you were a candidate on the ballot, to be on the ballot. You had to make sure everything was in order with the Secretary of State to get on the ballot. And then you do the thing. The final days of the campaign, you're in the playoffs now. And the election night takes place, and all the pieces fall in. And you're there, and you've made your best pitch. It's no longer in your hands as a candidate, it's now in the hands of the voter. And they get their opportunity to finally speak to what they've witnessed throughout the rest of the year or years leading up to election night. Now, California being what it is, well, results are going to be what they are when they finally get released. Gee, will my grandson be graduating from junior high by that time? That's being sarcastic, but you get it. So, for me, I was asked last night if I felt disappointed, discouraged, broken, defeated, crushed, sad. And I wanted to let you guys know, far from it. Matter of fact, I was elated. Funny? Why would you be elated, Leo? You did crappy. You suck. You got beat. You got trounced. Hell, you didn't even make the numbers. Yeah, I had a lot of people tell me that when I started this. You won't get 100 votes. You won't get 400 votes. You'll be lucky to see 500 votes. You won't even get 0.001% of a vote. I had all kinds of Republican know-it-alls tell me what I was not going to achieve. People who didn't even know me and thought they knew everything, and pardon my French, didn't know shit. They didn't know who I am. They didn't know what I stood for. Most of them to this day still can't figure me out, but that's on them, not me. The only thing they're fixated on is I lost. Told you you're gonna lose, told you. Not very Christian-like, and I apologize. But a friend of mine called me up last night, or I called him, vice versa. Leo, you know you got 27 votes out of El Dorado County? Holy shit. Didn't really stump up in El Dorado County because their Central Committee guy didn't want to give me an opportunity to speak to his committee. But that's okay. Yuba City kind of did the same thing. Yolo County kind of did the same thing. There are a few other counties we tried to crack into that made the same BS excuses about why they don't have time to let you speak. News organizations, same thing. No time to let you speak. Ooh, there's a Fairness Act law. Maybe I should have exercised that lawsuit opportunity a little bit more often than I tried. Be that as it may, started looking into the rest of the tallies. For those people that thought I amounted to nothing, for those people that thought nothing would happen, nobody would vote for me, 0.001% chance was never going to happen for me, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, to those of you who supported me, who believed in me, who were encouraged by my enthusiasm, by my fight, by the message, by the energy I brought to the table. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From myself, my family, to you, to all of you, thank you. Because you proved many people wrong. Just check the Secretary of State's numbers right now. Be doing that through the next 5 days. 5,700 votes. Not a whole hell of a lot in the greater scheme of life. 0.1%. 5,700 votes. Last night was 5,200. Shocked the hell out of me. 11 o'clock at night. 5,200 people cast ballots in my direction. Someone who most of you know-it-alls thought would never even get past 10. Daniel Mercury, congratulations. You fought a good long race. Somewhere around 1,500. Mr. Lewis, somewhere around 1,600. Wow, amazing. Serpa? Oh, that's right. He quit, moved over to Treasury, and got beat over there. Markham? He quit because he couldn't afford the filing fee. Leo Zaki? Don't know where the hell he ended up at. He got 10,000 votes. But the man used to brag in front of me about his $3 million war chest. It didn't amount to anything, did it? Cheon, the favored religious guy, failed to follow his tax forms. Kicked off the ballot, reduced to writing candidate. Can't even find where the writing candidates are. What did they pull? Betty Yee dropped out. She took 14,000 votes with her. Swalwell dropped out. He took about 18,000 votes with him. Those two candidates quit the race, and 30,000 votes went with them. A couple of percentage points there, ladies and gentlemen. I may not have had much, and I may not have had the big machine going for me, but it can't be said I had the baggage that Mr. Hilton and Mr. Bianco had behind me. And it can't be said that I didn't have all the powerhouse items that they had and the benefits they were provided and the protections they were given either. So for right now, let me focus a little bit on Chad. Some of his folks arrogantly stated, "Who are you?" Nobody. This is Chad Bianco country, Chad Bianco land. You aren't shit if you won't vote for Chad Bianco. Chad Bianco or bust. He's the only guy that can do it. I said really early in this campaign, when I tried to make the 4-email concept of shaking hands, reaching out across the aisle, across the table, and welcoming Mr. Bianco into the race. Be a sheriff or be a candidate, but you're not going to do both successfully. I won overwhelmingly in my district. I won overwhelmingly in my county. I got reelected as sheriff in Riverside County. Again, people love me. When I finally started giving you my full attention, that proved to be not so genuine of a statement. You won your election. Oh, there's no doubt about that. Whether it's by 1 point or 5 million points, the bottom line is you won your election. Yes, you did. But your opponent was only one guy. A 2-man race. And both of you, in a 1.3 million eligible voter county, could only amass 200,000 votes. Less than 13% of the electorate voted in your race in 2022. And I said early on in that portion also, if you couldn't win your county with more than 13%, what the hell makes you think you're going to win California with less than 13%? So, for the Bianco people that are out there, this message is for you. Don't let people talk shit about what you did, what you voted for, what you supported, who you supported, why you stayed in as long as you did. It's none of their damn business. You supported your guy. And whether you liked him, didn't like him, blasted him, yeah, I was one of those that pretty heavy on his ass also. He paid his fees to be in the race. Go back to one of my videos. It was a little joke, but there was some flares of truth in there. Well, Mr. Bianco, do you think you can win? Well, I'm in the race. But do you think you can win? Doesn't matter. I'm in the race. Remember that? The little video was a little funny, but there were snippets of truth in there. It was pointed out to me way afterwards. California has never elected a sheriff in 178 years of its history, state history. So what does that tell you? When you conned, convinced, buffaloed, bullied, paid, bought, purchased, connived, whatever words you want to use, when you got Mr. Bianco to step up and say, okay, I'm going to run for the governorship of California, if you were not aware of that little detail, shame on you. If you were not aware of the baggage he held, shame on you. Did a good job trying to protect him, because after Kim Yeater, you couldn't find Bianco on a debate stage anywhere. Unless it was his group of people to talk to with his conditions to have a conversation. I'm not a Bianco fan by any means out there. I never supported that man at all in anything he did. So the people that supported Mr. Bianco, God bless you. You guys made a choice and you live with your decision. That's part of voting. Don't be ashamed of it. You cast the ballot. And don't let the Hilton people tell you you're a bunch of cultists and whack job and hardheads or anything else like that. Just tell them to kiss your ass and move it along. Game over, okay, call it a day. Bianco, well, Bianco's going to go back, just like he said on one of his interviews, going to go back to being sheriff, $625,000 a year job. Didn't mean much to him winning or losing. Winning would have been great, but losing had zero impact. He's going right back to the cushion that he left temporarily to run for governor with an enhancement to his resume. But he still has 2 years on his contract. My numbers are not off. By the time he's done screwing around as Riverside County Sheriff, he'll have $750,000 a year paycheck. Follow his history and see if I'm wrong. Leo, you lost. It doesn't matter. You only got 0.1% of a vote. 5,700 people. You didn't even get close to Chad Bianco. Chad Bianco got 11%. Chad Bianco got about 580,000 people, and I'm rounding up and being liberal with the numbers. Yes, I will give you that. But guess who's on the bus ride home after losing the playoff game? Chad and Naranjo. Doesn't matter where we are on the bus, we're on the same bus going home because we were defeated. Well, he got 500,000 ballots, and he still lost. Well, you lost too, and he got 25 times more ballots than you did. Whether you lose by 1 point or you lose by 1,000,000 points, at the end of the day, your ass lost. You can flower it up however you want to. But Chad Bianco had fame, fortune, background, people helping, influential people protecting. He had everything going for him, and he got the same participation trophy that I did, and mine cost far less than his. Feeling bad? Oh, Chad's probably feeling a little bit worse than I am. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm exhilarated to do what I did with what I had. God put me here to do what I was doing and needed to do, and I did it in the best of my abilities. Ms. Pam Atkinson, You're a podcaster, it seems like, or a poster on X. I'm going to address your post that you did just a little while ago today, and today's the 3rd of June, discussing what happens next vis-a-vis the Hilton / Bianco supporters. Probably even make a little video about it. I get your sentiment, and under normal conditions, I would probably agree with most of what you typed today. But I'm going to professionally and courteously disagree on some of them. Now we're on Steve Hilton. That man has never led shit. That man has never been elected to Jack Diddley. He's written policies and he's provided opinions. Fox News protected his ass, and that's what gave him the oomph through the entire thing. He got taken on forums. He got embarrassed in his own group in Yorba Linda. He is not the strong candidate you think he is. Did he win? Oh, I'm not going to debate the fact he won. But the news last night has already begun the crucifixion of Steve Hilton. You got 5 more months of this, people, to figure it out how the Democrats are getting ready to kick your literal ass. God has a sense of humor. And if you don't believe me, for those people out there in the Bianco camp that are probably pissed right now at the Hilton camp, follow my logic on that. God has a sense of humor. Right before our 250th anniversary of the creation of the United States of America, breaking away the 13 original colonies who used to be owned by, what country was that? England? And the war of the Revolutionary War that followed it, for some weird reason, Californians, Republicans no less, were insistent on taking this British national who claims he dropped his British citizenship, but nobody has verified shit on that aspect. Leo, Republicans don't attack other Republicans. It's the Reaganist way. The Reaganist way also said trust and verify, and you've done nothing of the sort. So kiss my ass on that aspect. A British national is being propped up to be a governor in the state of California in the nation of the United States of America. How ironic is that? Right before our 250th anniversary of breaking away from England, we've just handed the keys to one of its paupers here. Is there any truth that his family is still British citizenshiped? They're still British citizens? They're not even U.S. citizens? Wife couldn't vote? 18-year-old kid couldn't vote? You sound like you're mad. Well, I'm not mad. I care less. I'm just looking at the ironic point that's being made in front of us. He had a pizza party down at the Capitol today in Sacramento. Oh joy. A little bit of a video there. Not a lot of people that you could see on the videos. Very controlled panning. One of my people was there from the Republican Assembly, Sue Blake. Congratulations, you got caught on film. God bless you. Heard the concession speech, heard the victory speech. Nails to a chalkboard, reminiscent. The bots dropped like that on the X platform. The kiss asses drop like that on the X platform. The barrage of nonstop Hilton's great, all hail, bend the knee, blah, 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 dropped. This is going to be an interesting 5 months. Because the news media has already sized up the argument. Mr. Hilton, you can't even explain a simple answer, yes or no. And they highlighted that, so you know it's coming. Often. Katie Tur, I think, was the host last night on MS Now. Well, Mr. Hilton, it's a very easy question to answer. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 presidential election? Oh, I'm not going to answer that question. It's a gamey question. It's a question, it's a game, and it's a game of a question. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to get into that. I just refuse to answer the question. The Democrats are going to eat your ass up because of that. I had a couple of other Democrat bigwigs give their view on what to expect in the general election. I want to give you my view of what to expect from the general election also, because we're going to do this in a different way. This is the view from what you people call a political doesn't know shit. A political nobody. An individual who meant nothing, did nothing, is nothing, and whatever else that you propped into your mind of what you thought I didn't acquire, achieve, or ascertain. But I'm going to school some of you right now. I've been in finance and military for over 14 years. I've been in finance for a long time, in one way or another, for the last 30. Number crunching is my name. The union didn't really bark about numbers. They jumped that crap on my lap and told me to crunch the numbers, figure it out, and come back to them when I was done. Not a problem. That took a couple of days. I want all of you folks out there, from the bought and paid for Hilton bots, Kira Davis, Mike Netter, you know, you're a couple of them. I want all the Hilton supporters. I want the pissed off Bianco supporters. I want the so-called experts in the GOP. Oh, by the way, I've made national fame. Why it happened? What made it happen? What caused it to happen? I have no idea, but I've been blocked on X by Carl DeMile's goofy ass. For what? I've never launched into Carl DeMille. I've pointed out that he never made any public statement. He never gave public support to Steve Hilton getting a POTUS endorsement. Are you pissed off about that? Grow a pair, dude. It's factual. It's true. When have you come out and supported Steve Hilton's Donald Trump endorsement? You haven't. You sent your lackey Cangipa to do it. Is it because I wrote to you on your barrage of emails, constantly begging for money for this action, this endorsement, that endorsement, whatever it is you're trying to do? Oh, Leo, your $50 could really help us do X, Y, and Z. Well, Carl, I'll get right back with you. Let me find out and see. Oh, you know what? My apologies, Carl. I'm going to support your campaign with as much money as you've given mine. And to date, you've given me exactly $0. Are you mad about that? Are you mad about the fact that I bested your guy on forum platforms? Are you mad about I took him to task on the internet for his bullshit that he's passed off as the magic show? I don't really know and I don't really care. The fact that you blocked me on X, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're 2 shades short of wacko too. You that worried about little old me? Ooh, okay. But again, back to the subject at hand, all of you folks out there, Hilton people, the Bianco people, the ones that didn't support either candidate, the Serpa people, the Mercury people, the Kurskagian people, everybody out there, all the know-it-alls, all the pundits, all the consultants, simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. And I'm not including the variables, the weird factors, the Trump impact, the lack of impact, whatever the case might be. Simple math. Democrats versus Republicans. Steve Hilton is in the #1 position of winning the primary. God bless you, sir. Party hardy. For the next 5 months, all eyes are on you for the big game. You thought the Republican barrage was bad. Wait till the Democrat blitz starts up. But you got about 27%. Okay. Crappy turnout, I hear. Less than 30% of the people voting. Give or take 5 million, maybe 6 million people voting, and I'm being liberal in that calculation. 6 million people cast ballots out of a 22 million eligible voter pool? Okay. Don't know what's going to happen on the general. I'll let the number crunchers figure that out. If the same amount of people show up in the general election as they do in the primary election, then my numbers won't be too far off. But Steve Hilton got about 27%. And you fanatics out there that were talking about Bianco needed to drop, Bianco needed to quit, Bianco needed to do this, coalesce behind one person, blah, 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 don't split the vote, crap. You got two top dogs as Republicans on the race for governor. Hilton and Bianco. Everybody else you shitstormed. So we're going to say we don't matter. Okay. Congratulations. 27% for Steve. Chad, we're going to be liberal and round him up with another rounded off 12% tops. Steve Hilton, on raw figures, has 39% of the elected voters. 39%. Remember that number, folks. 39%. Now, we live in a state that's 3-1 Dem to Republican voters. 2.5, 2, 3-1, somewhere in between there to 1. For every 2 to 3 of them, there's one of us. I'm not including the hate Trump people. I'm not including the can't stand Trump people. I'm not including the news has already earmarked the new talking point for the Democratic Party, which is this election is about stopping Trump. This election is about Trump. Because that's what they're going to turn it into. No, what I'm talking about are the candidates that were listed for the governor's race. Raw numbers. Dems to Republicans. Hilton got 27. Bianco pushed up to 12. 39 points. Becerra got, rounded up, 25 points. Steyer got 19 point something, rounded up. Steyer pulled down 20 points. That's 45 right there alone. Hilton and Bianco, they only got 39% of the vote. Becerra's numbers and Steyer's numbers have already beaten Hilton by nearly 10 points. And we're not even done listing off the demos of all the demos that ran. Include Katie Porter's 5. Include Tony Thurman's 1 or 2%. Include Mahan's 4%. See where I'm going with this, folks? Raw numbers. Go to the Secretary of State, their website. Look at the Democrats' only total percentage count. Round it up to make it simple for you. Republicans are only going to get 39% of the vote, all things being equal. But Mr. Becerra took 25 points. And Tom Steyer bought 20%. That's 45%. Oh, Leo, they're not all going to vote. I said raw numbers, not excuses. Dems versus Republicans. All kinds of factors play in. You guys can argue that all day long. I really don't care what you do with the numbers. But math is math. And when it's all said and done, Steve Hilton with the Chad Bianco in total support, 39% of the vote. All the Dems coalescing behind Becerra, 51% of the vote. You don't have to believe me, because I really don't care if you do or not. The numbers are already there. Modified a little bit between now and the 9th when the final count is done up. That's fine. But now I want you to go back and look at all the races. Michael Gates is happy he got a runoff, but he's down 11 points in his runoff campaign. And it looks like only 2 people are going, him and a Dem. And he's down 11 points on the Dem. If nothing changes, he lost by 11 points. Some of these races are going to lose between 10 and 20% just on raw numbers. Now, not everything is horrible. Chris Bish got 12% in her race for Congressional District 3 versus Omni Berra. Mr. Tucker is in that race. I think that's his name. Fascinating about that is you have a Green Party person that got a percentage, got 1 percentage point in that race. Insignificant in the greater scheme of life, but remember, it only takes 1 point to lose or win a race. Congressional District 3, there's a Green Party person that got 1 percentage point in that race. And Omni Berra is the incumbent, but he didn't get a crushing amount of votes. And it was pretty much only him running. Republicans, Chris Bish, a couple other people throw in there, yeah. But when you do the raw math and crush it all down, Omni Berra has a barely 3% lead over Mr. Tucker. 3%. The Green Party people were 1% of that race. That would knock it down to 2%. See where I'm going with this? You are on the brink of potentially kicking Omni Berra out of office if you work hard, if you make a convincing argument. But that gentleman can win Congressional District 3. Now, if Chris Bish throws in with him, it makes it a within 2-point race. Oh, that would be interesting. But now it puts Chris Bish in the driver's seat on what she wants to do with her voting bloc. Join? Not say a word. Not join. That's on her. Depends how the party approaches her. That race is really, really close. That's doable. Ladies and gentlemen, you might get Omni Berra unemployed soon. Hey, that would be something. But everybody else suffers between 10 to 20% loss across the board, raw numbers only. A friend of mine told me last night, so basically what you're saying when you use raw number math, Leo, is that these people are celebrating their defeat in November early. That was an interesting way to put that, but yeah, you could look at it that way. Yes. That's a realistic view. It's straight numbers. There's no ambiguity there. There's no hostility there. There's no, I got sour grapes because I got beat by money bags. I don't care I got beat by money bags or not. Stood on the stage with them, competed with them, embarrassed a couple of them. And except for the fact that the media protected their ass as well as the party, probably would have had an interesting shot at unsettling a couple of them. But be that as it may, now we're just looking at the raw numbers for after the race. Now you want to start including funny portions of that. Well, Leo, Hilton's going to get all the Republicans. Is he? Keep fucking with the Bianco people. You're not going to get all of them to vote for you. That's 500,000 votes, or let's break it down, 12% of a population that voted. Keep calling them moronic, stubborn, assholes, cultists, fanatics, Fruit Loops, undesirables, irresponsible, traitors. and all the other things you Hiltonite suckwads are doing. Kira Davis and Mike Netter types, you bought and paid for bots that pan no matter what to Steve Hilton, you better rein your Fruit Loop brigade in check, because you're costing yourself percentage points. Right now, you're probably at about 5% loss. But if you think he's going to walk into the general election with 39% of the vote, that's because you're considering all 12 points of Bianco's people going with you automatically. If you believe that, you have to believe in the reverse, the other side of the house. Becerra and Becerra and Steyer, 45 points alone. You've lost. It just gets worse from there. You don't have to believe me, folks. We're going to find out in November. Call me when you want to have a conversation. Call me when you want an opinion. You can call me if you want to. But what you can't call me is a quitter. Somebody that didn't have a goal in mind, and somebody who beat many of your expectations. Never changed my intensity, never changed my message. I want to make some honorable mentions out there to people. I got to make a couple more phone calls this week and thank them personally. I'd like to thank the people in Placer County that voted for me to try and speak at the convention in San Diego, contrary to your chairman trying to block me from doing so. Thank you for your votes. I want to thank those people that came up to me in San Marcos and in Yorba Linda and at the other Kim Eater events. Thank you for your votes of confidence, for your support, for your generosity, and for everything you did for me. Thank you, Ms. Kim Eater, for the opportunity that you provided us as candidates to be on your platform when you didn't have to do shit. Greatly appreciated. It was the breakout moment. I want to thank Joe Reichhoff, which I'll personally call, for what she did for the campaign and the connections that she provided. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Doesn't seem like it. I'm a little combative and hot-headed for you, I understand, but hey, it's politics. You're in it, have some thick skin. Not personal, it's business. I've been very forthright and honest with whoever asked me questions, because if you want me to lie to you, I'm not the right guy to talk to. Go talk to somebody over there. It might not be an opinion you want to hear, but it's going to be as honest as I can give you. If that's what you want, I'll try and smooth it out a little bit for you, but the truth is the truth. Lies, BS, that's what those people do. Don't go to me, go to them if that's what you want. I won't tell you what you want to hear solely because that's what you want to hear. I have to sleep with myself and be comfortable in my own skin at the end of the day. And when I left my job at the welfare office, I never had complications or my conscience bother me because I gave somebody wrong information. I gave them the best information I had based on the information that they gave me, and I gave them the best path forward. It was their option to take or to ignore. I never forced anything on anybody. I want to thank Miss Louise Solomon and Stan and the Patriot Activators Group for their help in assisting me along this journey. Mr. Benji, thank you very much. Appreciate the time, the effort, the support, everything that you guys have done. Mark Williams, God bless you, sir. The first man to radio jock the showboat of the Mark Williams talk show back in the 90s, who first thought I was a loon when I called up to his radio station because I said, hey, don't kill Bin Laden, hire his ass. That was amazing what he pulled off from a cave. Leo, you're a complete idiot. You're so stupid you shouldn't even be on the air. Don't ever call a radio show again. Yeah, he frosted the hell out of me in front of 3 million people. Leo of Sacramento was my handle. And a year some odd later, The man was made an honorary Marine. I helped him get prepped up to go to Iraq and report from over there. I stood by him at protest rallies. I stood by him at Bring Heat to a Topic rally. Stood by him when KFBK effed up and fired the only conservative radio jock that we had in the Sacramento environment. And as a personal favor, he put me through 2.5 hours of vetting for a candidate to see if I had the mettle to go the full route of running for the office of governor. 2.5 hours. That man beat me up. And I invited him into my own house to do it. That's a ballsy move on my part. And I walked away with his endorsement. 2.5 hours later. He never retracted that endorsement. And I offered that option to him a couple of times. So for Mr. Williams and his wife Holly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done. Love you, guy. Charlie Simons, thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. I'm pretty sure I rocked you too. My name was passed along to you. You gave me a shot. Supposed to have only been about a 30-minute first-time go-around. Ended up to be almost an hour. And we had 2 or 3 more shows after that. Mr. Robert Hamilton, the gentleman that I spoke to way before I started this trip, thank you very much, sir, for listening to me, offering me that encouragement, and sticking with me for as long as you could. I appreciate it. To the others of the group, the ones that I kind of started with at the Kim Meter, Take Your Power Back function, Mr. Athens, Mr. Mercury, yeah, even the Fruit Loop Serpa, Zachy, Greta, the bevy of other folks that were there. Believe it or not, the interaction with you folks also helped my campaign. Gave me insight, gave me some knowledge, gave me some experience. You thought I wasn't paying attention to what you folks were saying? No, I was listening the whole time. But I was also gauging, because you were opponents of mine, where we stood in the what I call chess match of A to Z. So I thank you too. Mr. Herms, always interesting running into you, sir. It's the places that we ran into each other were kind of interesting. Governor forums, Sacramento Capitol a couple of times, on the internet in a forum. I never had any problems with Louis Herms. We got along fine. I mean, we're from 2 different worlds. He's in San Diego area, I'm from Sacramento area. Our lives have taken different directions. But when it came into the campaign running for governor, yeah, we're 2 people running for the same prize. But amazingly enough, with his experience and my experience, it was quickly found out by the people that we were in the forum with. We had very similar goals and visions on what to do and how to fix it. And we had the experience and knowledge from the depth of our areas on how to explain it to show people the gravity of the problem we faced and we were facing. So I thank you for that, Mr. Herms. I greatly appreciate it. And yes, as far as my polling goes, you were not included in the polls. And I do remember it's Herms, not Hermes. To the Elaine Colades out there. Met you at the recall. Got a strange feeling about you at the recall with Randy Economy. Didn't feel right about your sentiments on illegal aliens. Proven out that, yep, wrong direction you were taking. But hey, that's your direction. You saw me at the first Kim Meter event. You met me, talked to me. Hey, looking to support you. Let's talk. Get in contact with me. But then you kind of wanted the plan A, B, and C because your rich friends wouldn't commit to somebody unless they had a plan A, B, and C. So I gave you my plan A, B, and C. Plan B is the same as plan C. Well, what are those plans, Leo? to win the election. That's plan A. Well, if you can't be real, then we can't support you. Well, you know what? I've heard promises all day long. If you can't support me, then what are we talking about? Because my plan is to win. And if your plan is to bullshit me, then we don't need to have a discussion. And I think the last thing you said was I needed to reconsider and drop out and maybe run for another race. Well, on the drive home, you come to find out your happy ass was going to jump in as a no-party preference candidate, but you tried to buy me off and bluff me off to quit early? Woo! Saw through that crap and caught you doing something flagrant in the LA race down south. With all your money and influence, where did you end up on the bigger scheme of life? Far farther down the road than me. What did you sarcastically tell me in San Diego, ma'am? Who's your friend? A smile on my face? After I already found out about you? And I smiled in your face right back and I told you, just like I did in front of the people that were standing there. Who's your friend, Leo? People that don't backstab me, Elaine. I don't pull punches on opponents. I played a game too, but I didn't feel like playing a game with you that day. Randy Economy, thank you very much, sir, for your insight, your political knowledge, the help, the opportunity to stand with you in the recall, to support you in recall efforts. You need them again? Hey, look me up. You got my number. Mucho respect for you. You wanted me to go non-party preference. Well, I didn't. That's the bottom line there. I didn't do it. Because that's not what I do. Mucho thanks to my family for the support they've provided, the endurance that they provided, the amount of crap they put up with, especially my wife on this campaign trail. She didn't want to be dragged around a couple of times. But she finally committed to, well, it's your thing. I'm going to be at the pool relaxing or doing whatever she wanted to do. Because she thought it was a horrendous experience. And some of her observations were keenly aware and felt by me as well. Internally, I had to compartmentalize some of those feelings, and she accused me of not paying attention to her, but I did pay attention to her. Bianco, Hilton, Mercury, Serpa, Cheon, all those people, always freaking amazing. When we went down south in Southern California, they had entourages, supporters. Now, maybe some of them are family members, I'll give you that. But they always seem to have people there cheering them on. I'm from Northern California. With the exception of my family, my own freaking effing California Republican Assembly would barely even acknowledge that I existed in their midst as a governor candidate for this state. That's kind of effing pathetic. Ran into the very same people at GOP conventions and they kind of acted like I didn't even exist. That's arrogance. And I looked at these people and I listened to their horse shit and I see them when they bullshit around and pat each other on the back and congratulate them with their millions and millions of accolades of whatever the hell it is they think they're pumping themselves up with. And I come to the healthy conclusion, you are some jealous bastards. That's all I can figure. You're mad because you couldn't do what I tried to do? Or you're mad because you didn't have the balls to try and do what I've accomplished? You're mad because I didn't kiss your ass? You're mad about, I don't know what the hell you're mad about. You thought it was a fool's errand? Hey, let me tell you, when Chris Bish made her third run for office, maybe you should have talked to her about aiming lower for sites on offices. But instead, you targeted me. Why? Well, you can't win. Well, neither did your guy. Oh, the one you voted for. The CRA that pumped up. What's his name? Bianco? He supported him. What'd that get you? You can't win. Well, then why even bother having an election? Unless you have money, nobody can really win, right? That's the concept. Well, the Democrats are going to control the race. Well, if they got so much influence and power, why do we need a Republican Party? Let them run the show. Let them tell us who we can run so that they can beat an election that they cheat in, because that's what you're telling us, right? How stupid does that sound? How defeatist does that sound? You got mad at me for being energetic and thought that it was only a one-night moment of seeing me, woo, on a scale of 1 to 20 around number 15. No, bro. That energy can be there whenever it's needed through the month if need be. Big difference between you and I. I might look a little old, but I'm young at heart, ready to take your shit on any day of the week. Tell to my family, God bless you. Thank you for putting up with the shit that you put up with and going through with it with me. To my mom, that woman was 94 years old. She was made my treasurer. Mom's sharp as a tack. Don't be fooled by it. She kept very meticulous records on what she gave and gave out and sold and collected and everything else. Showed up a few places with me. Didn't show up to all of them, though. I mean, I'm not a barbarian. The woman is 94 years old. But she wanted to be there so she could see her son do what he did. And got to vote for him in this election. Touches my heart, by the way. 94 years of age. Imagine that. Okay, enough of that. And then last but not least, to the Marilyn that's out there, to the Megan that's out there, to her husband that's out there, to the Freedom 1776 writers that are out there, thank you guys for helping me start this journey. I've contacted you already, but I want this as a personal note for the world on the internet. Thank you. You were there probably by accident when I made my first announcement at the Purple Heart Memorial there on the Capitol way back in 2023. And somebody said, Megan, who was there, jumped on the phone to Charlie Simons. You got to hear this guy. And that started it off. Why was I an exploratory candidate for almost a year? Because I was still technically employed by the feds and they frown on employees running campaigns. But when the Doge crap hit, and I was getting ready to go through the same crap I went through almost 35 years ago and didn't feel like putting up with that bullshit and the lies and the fabrications and the truth shuffling and everything else a second time, I took the buyout offer and retired out of federal service. With many people thanking me for saving their sanity and their jobs and making the right decisions for their career benefits. Where they were listening to management before and pretty much getting effed out of money that they worked so hard for. Did I help those people out? When a person writes you in a letter, an email, and says, thank you, sir, for having the balls to say what many of us couldn't or can't. Thank you for standing up to the management team and asking questions too many of us are afraid to ask. I wasn't a union leader. I wasn't a union rep, a supervisor. I was another person in federal office. But I'd already gone through that crap and I saw what people were going through and how they were getting stressed because they were being misled and lied to. I should have asked that question at a couple of forums. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? My name is Leo Naranjo IV. Let me ask you a question before I start my little thing here. How many of you want me to purposely lie to you? Raise your hand. Anybody? Somebody? Nobody? If I'd have had half the room raise their hand, I'd have lied my ass off. Hey, I know how to do that. I used to work with the feds and the county and the state and in the military. I've been trained by the best. You want me to lie to you? Yeah, I can do that with a smile on my face too. But it's not inherently me. And I would feel some kind of way if I did that on a religious norm. So for everybody out there, to the 5,700 some odd people, because they're still counting, so it might be more, for all the people that cast their ballot for me, God bless you, thank you, thank you, thank you. To the delegates I contacted, hey, there's a lady out there in the Republican Party that was a delegate. And I called up trying to get a vote just to be able to speak at the San Diego convention. You know what this woman asked me? Name doesn't matter, but she knows who she is. Who are you? Leo Naranjo IV, ma'am. What are you doing? Candidate for governor in the election of 2026 for California. Yeah, right, whatever. Who are you? Leo Naranjo IV. Here's my website. Oh my God. Are you really the candidate? Yes, ma'am. And this is really Leo who I'm talking to. Yes, ma'am. Do you know, sir, I've been a delegate for over 20 years. I've never been called by a candidate asking me to support them. Holy shit. I said, excuse me, pardon my French, but, well, congratulations. It's a first for both of us. Went down to a GOP convention. Wife and I are sitting there by the pool. We were chilling out. Fire pits going on. Time was relaxing. There's another young lady out there sitting with us. Finally figured out, hey, got in a conversation with her. Me and the wife started talking to her. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Northern California. Oh, what brings you down here? Oh, the convention. Oh, really? Well, hey, how you doing? My name is... Oh, I know who you are. I've never seen a woman before in my life. Oh, you know who I am. Oh my God, here we go. First scandal, right? My wife looking at me, I'm looking at her. I said, you know who I am? She says, yeah. I said, wow, where did you learn that from? The internet. Where? Postings on X. Oh, okay. And our mail group. Oh my goodness. So if you know about me and you're here for the convention, she says, well, that's not the only reason. I came all the way down from Northern California because I wanted to see you in this forum. You, sir, are the reason why I'm here. For people who do this often, that probably didn't mean shit to them. But for somebody that hadn't heard that was very impactful for me. The fact that she took that trip just to see me speak at a forum was impressive. The fact that she wanted to take that trip because she'd already seen me speak or heard me speak and seen me write things was equally as impressive. That's how you connect to folks. That's how you earn respect. So for the Hiltonite people, you better get your shit together and figure it out really quick. You only got 5 months and you got a magician who's more smoke and mirrors than substance. And your numbers right now, you're 10 points behind. And that's only with 2 Democrats counted. You listed 5. So there's another 25 to 30 points. The Democrats, if, as you say, they coalesce around one guy, that's exactly what they're going to do. And you're going to lose by nearly 20 points. Now, throw in all the other BS factors. We'll see. But right now, it's raw numbers. Last but not least, Miss Tina Celine, thank you for your support and encouragement and everything you did too. God bless you, folks. Take care. Enjoy the end of the primaries, of the race. We're now in the Super Bowl, and that comes up in November. And let's see what happens then. Miss Pam, yeah, I'm going to right on your topic a little bit later. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful week. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart, my family's heart. We greatly appreciate it. Naranjo family. Leo Naranjo IV, United States Army retired. Candidate, former candidate for governor in the 2026 election race. Have a great evening.